Hello, everybody. I'm Ken Gerlinger coming to you from the Peach Belt Conference Men's and Women's Cross Country Championships. For the first time, we're here in Aiken, South Carolina at the Pacer Path. And this year's race should be one of the most exciting we've had yet. Lots of parity in the Peach Belt Conference this year. The races are really open for anybody to win. And we're going to start with our women's competition.
The women's race started promptly at 10 a.m. as USC Aiken head coach Kara Kreutzer fired the starting gun. The pack made their way through the 6K course at the Pacer Path. A fairly hilly course, but also fairly fast. The group got off to a great start and made it over the first rise no problem. Here at about the half-a-mile mark, you can see a very large group of runners still together, dominated by the leaders we expected heading into this race. As the teams made their way through the first set of turns and up the first hill overlooking the start-finish line, a clear group was starting to break away from the main pack. Amongst those in the group, Augusta State's Jessica Carpenter, Pembroke's Livia Mahaffey, Flagler's Taylor Streckel, and Montevalo's Haley Evans. That group would continue to remain together throughout the first quarter to one half of the race. Coming around the 1 mile mark now. Those runners still together. Again, there you see Carpenter leading a host of runners. Again, back past the start and finish line, a very large crowd on hand to cheer the runners on as they made their way around the course at the Pacer Path. But in the end, there could be only one runner, and there she is. Montevalo's Haley Evans broke away from the pack in the second half of the race, opening up what would be a nearly 30-second lead over the rest of the field. She was followed by Pembroke's Livia Mahaffey and Flagler's Taylor Streckel. Behind her, there you see Jessica Carpenter of Augusta State, along with Kendra Dorn of UNC Pembroke, along with a host of other runners, including Montevalo's Lauren Recchia and Inmi Matsunaga. But Evans was not going to be caught as she came across the finish line in first place, breaking the school's 6K record, her final time 23 minutes and 16 seconds. She was followed by Flagler's Taylor Streckel, who finished in 23:48, and UNC Pembroke's Livia Mahaffey. Behind them, Jessica Carpenter of Augusta State, Kaylee Glover of Montevallo. And here comes Kendra Dorn with a sprint towards the end for 6th place, and Inmi Matsunaga finished in 7th place for Montevallo. They were followed by Monique English of Columbus State and Jessica Smith of Clayton State. The top 7 runners in the race were named first team all-conference by the Peach Belt. And they were Evans, Streckel, Mahaffey, Carpenter, Glover, Dorn, and Inmi Matsunaga of Montevallo. Haley Evans named the PBC's individual champion. Montevallo won the team championship. Their final score, 44 points. They beat Clayton State by 30. Augusta State finished with 82, edging out UNC Pembroke with 83. And now on to the men's race. The 9 Peach Belt men's cross-country teams took to the 8K course at the Pacer Path with a race that started at 10:45 a.m. Once again, this was a wide open race. Nobody knew who the favorite was heading into this contest. Again, a clean start for the men as they make their way over the first hill and down through the first loop. Quickly became apparent that this was going to be a two-man race at the lead. The 2 men in question, UNC Pembroke's Pardon Luvu and his teammate Chris Schroll. They led a huge group of runners coming up through one of the first turns, trying to break away from the rest of the pack. Those amongst the chasers were Clayton State's Albert Mangani, Augusta State's Dustin Ross, and Flagler's Michael Lambert. Teams trying to group together to maximize their point potential, but it was very hard with so many runners packed so tightly together. In the end, though, Luvu got the big lead as he makes his way through the halfway point, pulling away from Schroll, trying to set a new course record at the Pacer Path. There's Schroll coming up just behind by about 15 seconds, trying to lead UNC Pembroke to a title. And down to the final stretch, here comes Pardon Luvu. the third time he has run in this race. He has finished third, second, and now as a junior finishing first. His time in the 8K race, 25 minutes and 11 seconds. He was followed by Schroll, who finished 25 seconds behind him in 25:36. Coming up behind them was Clayton State's Albert Mongani. He ran the race in 26:20, coming in 18 seconds ahead of Augusta State's Dustin Ross. Ross was the first Jaguar to finish to cross the line, coming in ahead of Flagler's Michael Lambert. Behind them, Pembroke's Zach Bayless and Augusta State's Jaden Brandt. Those 7 runners, Niluvu, Schroll, Magoni, Ross, Lambert, Bayless, and Brandt, were all named first team all-conference, and there they are, presented their awards following the race. In the team standings, our champion was Augusta State University, winning their first ever Peach Belt Conference men's cross-country title. With 57 points, they were followed by UNC Pembroke with 62 and Clayton State with 84.